morning. It's early, I know. Good morning, happy Friday, everyone. It is, fix my hat. It is Friday. It is the end of the week. I'm so excited because, it's really a very eventful weekend this weekend. I got a party to go to tonight. Going to Santa Con tomorrow. Going to see a few pop-ups this weekend as well. It'll be pretty busy. So I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get to my low behind my active kindness. I would say that my low is just the fact that it's been cold and rainy lately, and it sadly doesn't look like it shows any signs of stopping. My high would be, the fact that we got a new episode of Hot Ones yesterday with Mark Ruffalo. That was awesome. Actually, I'll get into the episode in a minute. And actually, you know what? Let me add another thing to my low. I was wrong about who won last night, who was going to win. The Patriots actually won? Who could have guessed that? Well, certainly not me. So, yeah, you can add to my low. And my act of kindness was I ran some errands for my grandmother yesterday. So, pretty low-key day. Honestly, it was sort of needed for, what's to come over the next couple of days, which I'm really looking forward to. So with that in mind, let's talk about this week's episode of Hot Ones, shall we? All right, hold on. I'm trying to adjust my feet on this thing, so here we go. Yeah, that's better. I can actually kind of rest a little. There we go. Okay, so Mark Ruffalo and Hot Ones. Spoiler alert. Oh. Okay, I did not activate. Okay. That's the problem with this adjustment. Unfortunately, I need a bigger ottoman or something. Anyway, so in case you wonder what just happened, I rest my keyboard on probably the shift key and that activated filter or sticky keys or whatever that is. Or you press the shift key or one of those other keys a whole bunch of times and then, hijinks ensue, I guess. I don't know. So, spoiler regarding yesterday's episode of Hot Ones. Not one question that Sean asked involved being in the MCU. Or being the Hulk for that matter. Not one. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to any of the celebrities that have been in the MCU on Hot Ones, they are actors first, and they are their, characters second. But not one question was about being the Hulk. Not one. I mean, was that too much of a gimme or something? I don't know. Well, anyway, regardless, I did learn a lot in this episode regarding, acting. Because for one thing, Mark Ruffalo is in the movie that's in theaters now called Poor Things. And it's the first time he's ever, and that's actually what Sean asked about for the first question. And Mark Ruffalo never gets to do the kinds of roles that he did for Poor Things. So it felt kind of freeing to do, which is nice. Honestly, if you're gonna, it goes into another question that's asked later, but as an actor, you really should strive to, do more and, build upon your craft. I mean, some actors and actresses get away with playing, one type of character and, they're typecast in that role. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it can definitely be lucrative if done correctly. I mean, gosh, look at Marissa McCarthy over the last several years. I mean, I'm glad that she branched out into doing more things. I mean, the Little Mermaid live action remake isn't very good, but I didn't hear any bad things about Melissa McCarthy being, Ursula. Didn't hear anything bad about that, so that's gotta be a good thing, right? So the fact that Mark Ruffalo was able to play a character that I never get to play in Poor Things, that's pretty cool. Okay, this is actually something I didn't know about Mark Ruffalo until yesterday, but he got like 800 something plus auditions before he finally landed any kind of role. And Sean asked him about, what's his acting rock bottom? Like, what's the lowest he's been in being an actor or becoming an actor? And he quit, quote unquote, 6 times. The last time he ever do it, though, he went to work as a sandblaster. And he thought, maybe I'll give this acting thing one more try. His mom, however, was the person who got him back in. It was like, son, if you don't go back into acting, I will never speak to you ever again. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not really I wouldn't say it's, oh my God, that's a threat. I don't care what anyone says, that is a threat. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been in disagreements with my mom where she never spoke to me for a while, to be sure. But for acting, that's insane. They talked about because Mark Ruffalo has been in plenty of movies where, where you have a lot of takes for a movie, for a scene. For those who don't know what a take is, if you ever see like videos and TV shows where they're like making a movie and they have like that clip where it's like, take 1, take 2, and then they like clap or whatever. I forget what it's called. While working on a movie with the one David Fincher, there was one scene that took 63 takes to make. 63. That is, I mean, don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, it's the director's art, it's the director's vision, and therefore, he wants to get it right. But what happened, what went wrong, 60 plus times before you actually got the scene right, It makes you, like, seriously, Mark Ruffalo talked about, like, one thing that went wrong in the scene is that Mark Ruffalo was, like, facing 2 inches, like, in a different direction than opposed to where David Fincher wanted or something. That's insane. He talked about preparing for a role based off of a real person, and you get invited in like different worlds. You get to see how like those people thought or think, or you get to essentially walk around in their shoes, and that really is important to do. Yes, it is true that in working on the movie Fox, what was it called again? Fox something. It was that wrestling movie with Steve Carell and Channing Tatum. That yes, Mark Ruffalo popped Channing Tatum's ear. I mean, it's a wrestling. I mean, in my wrestling, I'm not like professional wrestling, like the ring and the WWE. Like, no, it's like wrestling that I did when I was in high school. And, they spent like weeks essentially beating the shit out of each other. And so Channing Tatum's like, I want you to hit me. And then Mark Ruffalo was like, okay, and then bam, he did that. So, okay. He talked about the This Is Our Youth being a sought after playground for actors. There's great writing, there's great design. It's gonna be this generation's Hamlet, if you will. It appeals to the heart of the theater kid. And I mean, let's be honest, kids don't know what they want to do, and more often than not, they think theater is a viable option. Those who develop a passion for theater, they want to be surrounded by others with the same passion. And I think that's really important that you have programs like that that really, help and, help young actors grow and develop and eventually become successful themselves. That's really cool. He talked about the pros and cons of having Joaquin Phoenix as a roommate. There are like no cons at all. Evidently, Joaquin Phoenix is like the nicest person ever as a roommate. Like, he's a good cook. He actually turned Mark Ruffalo onto vegan cooking or vegan cuisine. Clean all the time. The apartment that they rented, their house they rented, was clean all the time. Joaquin Phoenix says, "Hey Mark, do you need anything? I'm at the store. Do you need anything?" Like, he was actually being like the best roommate ever. Which, I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie. I would definitely try and be a good roommate myself. I don't know if I would go that extra mile though. Or, here's the thing. It wouldn't occur to me to go that far. I mean, obviously I would try and be a good roommate myself. I would try and keep, the apartment clean. Obviously I would try and, be mindful of what my roommate wanted or needed. But, excuse me. I don't think I would go to that sort of extreme to make sure everything was good. Or it wouldn't occur to me to do that, I suppose. Speaking of things that wouldn't occur to me, here's one question that Sean asked regarding the bomb. Because, obviously, with any movie, whether it's a Mark Ruffalo movie or any movie that you see, a movie's got to have a tagline. Like, the thing that, a moviegoer looks at and reads, saying, I want to see that movie. So, Sean asked Mark Ruffalo to guess the movie based off of the tagline. It was obviously a Mark Ruffalo movie because, obviously it makes sense. So, here's one. When the girl next door moves across the hall, that's Apollo 13. Forbidden desires are unleashed and unspeakable evil is watching. Mirror, mirror. And it's a wonderful afterlife, just like heaven. And Mark Ruffalo got them all right. Give the man props. He knows his own movies. This is one question that they didn't really do a great job of answering, but Mark Ruffalo has recently gotten into sculpting, and Sean asked him who his favorite living sculptor is, and they didn't really give out the name of this person, but it's Mark Ruffalo's very own sculpting teacher. Like, that's his favorite living sculptor. Don't get me wrong, sculpting is definitely a very beautiful form of art when, mastered and perfected and mastered. It takes a lot of effort and work to get right. I mean, heck, I can barely sculpt a little bowl in art class. So, if any of you are sculptors that are watching this, definitely you have my, what's the word I'm looking for? Respect. That's the word. Respect. You've got my respect. Being a sculptor is not easy to do. It's a lot of work. So if you are a sculptor for a living, keep doing what you're doing because you are definitely better than me when it comes to sculpting. Okay. Okay. And this last question, this actually goes into the first couple of questions regarding the Poor Things question, is acting rock bottom. But Sean asked him, and this is when he got to the last ad, advice for struggling actors. And I feel this really could apply to any profession that anyone wants to do. It can apply towards, obviously it applies to acting. But, it applies to, actually, it can apply to what I'm doing right now, for being honest. I mean, yeah, I would like to make videos every day for, a living. That'd be awesome if I did that. But, I just continue doing what I'm doing. And obviously, I have a little fun doing it. That's my personal form of advice. But the advice that Mark Ruffalo had 3 forms of advice. The first is, you're the only one that can stop you. At the end of the day, you're the one who says it's enough. And that really makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, let's say for the sake of argument that, lots and lots and lots of people didn't like what I do, making these videos every day. What if someone didn't like that? Well, that person is entitled to their own opinion. I would respect their opinion. If there's something that they see that I don't like, if there's something that they see me do that they don't like, I would definitely, change it up. I can be accommodating at times. But to get me to stop, I'm the only one who could ever say I can stop doing this now. And personally, I don't ever want to stop, so I'm doing pretty good. The second thing is stay out of debt. Don't get yourself into a hole. Because here's the thing. If you get into debt and you know for a fact you want to work on whatever it is you're doing, whether it's acting or sculpting or making videos like this, don't get into debt. Because you are constantly going to worry about, clearing your debt as opposed to perfecting your craft. I definitely feel that, I just think I'm pretty responsible with money, so that's pretty good. And the last thing, and this again goes into the first question, develop yourself. Feel free to step outside of your comfort zone every once in a while. Feel free to, you see me like, doing these videos every day, or if you want to do what I do, work on it, do stuff that I'm not doing. And I'll do stuff that I see someone else and like, I can do that, so I'll try it. Like, what a great example of this is? There's this one YouTuber I watch, he actually has a lot of TikTok videos called Corey Beat, where he'll see like someone make like this crazy food item, and he's like, oh, that doesn't really work. And then he tries to do it himself, and it's really funny when it works. Because obviously he doesn't expect it to work, but, it works. So, develop yourself. Make yourself better, your audiences are going to grow and develop and try new things. So therefore you have to grow and develop and try new things. And that's what I try and do every day. So, yeah, this is a good episode. I learned a lot. At the end of the day, I guess you didn't really need to learn about Hulk or the MCU after all. Seriously, like Mark Ruffalo didn't even go into any kind of rage because of the heat from the wings. He was fairly composed, actually, compared to other guests. So, who knows? I hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I enjoy holding this video. For all of you guys watching, Joe Canadian. Hopefully, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. Remember, if you guys want to talk to me, I'm here to lend you. Always be back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.